going to be a good day unless you happen to reside in Duval. And I'm guessing your day already sucks. I'm guessing your night was horrible. It was for me, and I'm in SoCal. SoCal! And it just sucked for me because I laid the points. Memo to self. Rule to self. Never, ever lay double digits in an NFL game ever again. Big Head tried to talk me off that last night when I was commiserating with him. And by the way, nice job, Head. Head won that game. Duval, that was rough. That was brutal. That was ugly. That was a horrible night that just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Hey, remember when we were talking about that whole number one seed thing? That whole control your destiny thing? That whole, you know what, you could actually run away with the AFC South thing? Remember all that? Remember all that? I do. Because it was freaking yesterday that we were having that conversation. Yo, that didn't last long. That fell apart pretty damn quickly. Now, don't get this twisted. Things were actually still okay with around 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. No, the Jags did not play that well. In fact, they haven't played well at all. But they had the ball in a tie game and a chance to take the lead and get the hell out of there with that one seed still intact. Then Trevor Lawrence got his ankle turned inside out and bent backwards. Looked like he put it on backwards and then flattened. We're still waiting to see the extent of that, but for right now, it apparently looks like it's a sprain. So it looks like it looked a lot worse than what it actually is, but we're still waiting for more information. And the reason it looks so bad is because Trevor, I think, is still limping down that tunnel. I don't think he ever actually made it to his destination. Yo, Jags, where the hell do you keep the carts? How do you not have a ride ready for your franchise quarterback after your franchise quarterback put his ankle on backwards? Not even backwards, like it was pointed in 4 different directions. And my man is hobbling to the locker room. That had to have been one of the most absurd optics ever on MNF. Your franchise QB limping and gimping his way down the longest stadium tunnel ever with no golf cart in sight on national TV, chronicling every last painful step. Isn't Florida like the golf cart capital of the world? I feel like there are more golf carts than people in the state of Florida, but not a cart anywhere near the tunnel or near the franchise quarterback. As always, make that make sense, Jags. Can I also preface this by saying, you know this, I love Duval, I love the Jags. I was so fired up for that. But I have a question for you. Did they make him walk to the hospital for x-rays also? They probably told him, you know what, my man, walk it off. Don't drive home. Keep it loose. Keep that ankle loose. Walk home. Do not drive your car. Better just to walk all the way home. And before you try to tell me that he may have turned down a cart, yeah, I don't think so. You see how miserable that guy looked? You see how much in pain he appeared to be? Taking the tiniest, most painful steps ever down the longest stadium tunnel ever. Yeah, I'm guessing that guy would have taken a cart. I don't really think he would have turned down a cart. What, not even a wheelchair? Not even a Paul Pierce wheelchair? Not even a skateboard? Not even a little scooter that they have for geriatrics at Costco? A walker? Nothing? Well, was the golf cart guy doing donuts in the parking lot? I mean, anyway, thankfully it could have been worse. It could have been so much worse. I mean, it would not appear that his season's over. I don't know, but the early speculation is he'll be back. It could be worse for him, unlike that game, though, for the Jags, which went about as badly as it possibly could. It's generally pretty bad when you take an undrafted quarterback. Again, Savage, you're going to have to leave the room. Just like yesterday when we were talking about the selection committee, because we're talking about your team. You've made it pretty clear that you still live and die with this squad. It's usually time to die. It's usually pretty bad when you take an undrafted quarterback who has never won a start. And you turn this guy into John Elway, Joe Montana, and Johnny Unitas all rolled into one.
Hey, John.
That's not easy to do, and that's exactly what the Jags did to Jake Browning last night. Taking nothing away from Jake Browning. I mean, couldn't be more impressed with this guy. But let's not forget, he's Jake Browning. Look at this guy's numbers. 32 of 37, 354 yards, a passing TD, a rushing TD, no turnovers, and most importantly, no freaking pulse. This dude's a flatline, man, and I mean that in the best way possible. Jake Browning in a Monday night game on the road against the supposed alleged AFC number 1 seed. I mean, Jags D, good job, good effort. And by good job, good effort, I mean, the hell was that? What was that? At least we know one thing for sure. That's no number 1 seed. That doesn't even look like a play. And if you're going to be like, hey, Rome, bitter much? Bitter much? Yes. Yes, I am. And I'll tell you why. It's not because I lost some bet. I don't give a damn about that. But I'll tell you what I am bitter about. I'm bitter that I was the guy sitting here yesterday saying, hey, man, this is an opportunity. This is a potential number 1 seed. This is a team that knows they're a number 1 seed. This is a team that knows the entire nation's going to be watching. Duval is going to be getting ready for this all day long. This is a moment. This is a moment. And then that. Then they take a big dump in their pants. Yeah, I know. Only one game. Only one game and one enormous dump in their pants. Yeah, I'm bitter. I expect a hell of a lot more than what I saw last night. At least last night, we had that conversation. Then they got torched by an undrafted quarterback who had never won a start before. And maybe the worst part is Jacksonville got an absolute gift, and it still was not enough to win this game. Essentially, a free touchdown. And before I get into one of the ugliest plays that I've ever seen in my entire life, let me be very clear about this. This is a big Tyler Boyd house. And the reason for that is that dude is an awesome, dynamic receiver. This is not a big Tyler Boyd house, though, because he is an awesome, dynamic quarterback. So I've got absolutely no idea why Zach Taylor decided to dial up a double pass for Boyd when his actual QB was burning hotter than the surface of the sun itself. However, spoiler alert, that did not work out very well. Incredible. Two things. Number one, incredible. That he just looked right into the camera and screamed, jackass. Jackass! And that was for us to interpret. And he had to know that he'd be asked about that afterwards. And then he had such an incredible response. That was so great. That was for everybody that picked against us. In other words, he was talking to me. I'm only jackass! Sorry he didn't go, hey, Rome, jackass. Jackass! Because I'm thinking maybe he heard big head bets. And he heard me throw down on the Jags. And he was like, jackass. Jackass! And he's right. That is absolutely incredible. One of my favorite moments of the entire NFL season, him looking into a camera and just blasting out jackass. Jackass! And by the way, to some of the losers on the X, stop, quote, Xing awesome stuff and talking about fines. Nobody needs you clipping that incredible celebration and adding, gonna get a fine in the morning. I got a better idea. How about you get a life in the morning? How about you pay this guy in the morning? Count your own money, clowns. Why are we actively rooting for dudes to get fined, and especially for when they're doing awesome stuff? How about we just enjoy awesome stuff and let the league and the teams and the players handle the business end of it? Believe me, the Shield finds enough reasons to find people. They don't need you narcs on the X. Jackass! Jackass! You narcs on the X are worse than you narcs watching PGA golf and finding rules violations and reporting them. You're even worse than those losers. At least golf is a so-called gentleman's sport where they self-report and there are nerds who have nothing better to do. But you're coming for that guy? Fine him. Thank him. Like I am. He may even be talking about me and I want to thank him. You don't need to snitch on Orlando Brown for dropping an epic jackass blast, and you don't need to snitch out Jamar Chase either for keeping it real with NFL media after the game. Look, sometimes you ask a dude what was said in a huddle, and generally what you get is a really boring generic answer. Then, sometimes you ask a dude what was said in a huddle, and you get something incredible. Oh, is that all? Can I get a hell yes? Or do you want to find me too for getting behind him? Is that all you said? We're stepping on their neck. We might as well slit their throat while we're here. Might as well, dude. As long as you're down there, you might as well finish them. Incredible.
Might as well slit their throat while we're here, you know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, I know what you're saying, dude. And I could not appreciate it more. You want to know why Cincinnati walked out of there with their first MNF road win since 1990? That's why. Because they were there to step on throats and slit them.
Might as well slit their throat while we're here, you know what I'm saying? So.
And let everybody know who thought otherwise that they're jackasses. That's why they got out of there. We talked about it yesterday, the Big Head and I, about their record in prime time, on the road, how horrible it was. Another reason why I didn't mind laying the points. Well, that's how they got the hell out of there. Because of that attitude, because of that energy, because of that dude balling the hell out. Yes, Jake Browning was great, taking nothing away from that guy. Awesome. But he had the best help that a quarterback can have in Jamar Chase, going absolutely crazy. Nuts. He already reminded us earlier this year that he is, quote, always bleeping open. It's true. And it's true whether Joe Burrow was on the field or not. Just ask Tyson Campbell. Man, Jamar is just ice cold. Big game player, big time player, game-changing playmaker. And on top of all of that, he also casually just says things in the overtime huddle like, we're stepping on their neck. Might as well slit their throat while we're here. I know exactly what you're saying. That's all I said, man. Just slit their throat. Save your Orenthal resets. They're not funny. Anyway, that's the swag that Cincy had last night. And that's the swag that the Jags completely lacked last night. That's why the Jags just had their number one seed and their so-called controlled destiny snatched from them in their own house in front of the whole world last night. You know why? They got their throats slashed. That's why. At this point, I'm not even sure who the actual best team really is right now in that sloppy mess of an AFC. Maybe Miami, maybe Baltimore. But I'll tell you who it's not. It's not Jacksonville. And yeah, I'm fired up because yesterday I actually tried to make that argument. Hey, you know what? Maybe it's the karma-filled Texans. Hey, why stop there? If not the Texans, maybe it's the Colts. That's how wide-ass open the AFC is. I just know this. It's not Jayville. Sorry, Duval. Sorry to the Queen, Ms. Nika. But not sorry to any of the Jags, though, because y'all stunk up the joint last night. I've got more thoughts on that. I want, you know what I want to know? I want to know what Jacoby Myers thought of that Tyler Boyd pick, because that was my favorite play up until then. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.